to the Phantom's Fanatic YouTube channels. I am back with another review, and this week's review is of Turning Red, released this year in 2022, starring I don't know. And it was released on Disney Plus, and it's the newest Pixar movie. Real quick, before I get into the description of this film and stuff like that, I have a minor issue or just statement that I would like to point out. This whole thing that started with Soul because of the pandemic, which, you know, Soul's fucking fantastic. It's not important. But, in continuing with Luca and even this, to where Disney is now not releasing Pixar movies in theaters. They are releasing them on Disney Plus because they want them to be a financial benefit and a critical benefit. And it's like, no, I want to see these movies on theaters. Pixar just has such good fucking animation, and I want to see all of the good textures and stuff like that on that. When it's streaming and my internet slightly goes down, then the bitrate goes down and I lose how good the animation is. I'm already giving praise to this movie because of its animation, but this is just a pet peeve I have that I need to point out, to where I really hope Pixar does go back into the theaters. Like, this movie, well, I don't think it's amazing. I think it's pretty good, even from Pixar standards. I wish I could have seen it in theaters because I noticed all of this fucking phenomenal looking animation, and it's like, I wish I could see it in theaters. Like, come on, Disney. Now, that was just my own pet peeve about that. Now it's time to get into the movie. So, Turning Red follows a young girl, teenager. Well, she just turned 13 years old, and her body is going through changes and stuff like that. But in a creative idea, the way that they handle the changes is that she turns into a panda bear because her family made a deal with the spirits and stuff like that. It doesn't matter, but it's obviously a thing of puberty, and like her personality starts to change, and she used to be such like a perfectionist and trying to always get what her mother wants and stuff like that. But through this, it advances the characters and stuff happens because she could turn into a panda at will. Obviously, one of the big praises I gave this movie is its animation. This movie is fucking gorgeous. Pixar characters are getting so good looking that it's like, God, fuck, why can't I see this in theaters? But no, there's some scenes where there's these people cooking, and there's close-up animation on all the different, like, lettuce things, and you can see the wetness and all, like, the little lines and curves and it all, and it looks so phenomenally good. And especially the way that the animation is, the characters are also extremely expressive, almost like anime at sometimes, which I don't have a problem with because of how animated these characters are, and I really did enjoy watching them. But getting into one of my complaints, when I watched the first 10 minutes of this, I thought that I was going to hate it. Yet again, this is me coming from a 18-year-old dude, and I still really did enjoy the movie, don't get me wrong. And I feel like it's a part of the joke that she's a bit annoying in this character because she's 13, Mai, I think her name is, and her friends who, like, dance to K-pop, like, dance to boy band music and stuff like that. I get that they're kind of supposed to be fucking annoying. Don't get me wrong, I get that's a part of the joke. And each individual personalities, I laughed at a lot of the jokes. There's, like, this one that's, like, kind of like Mabel from Gravity Falls, which I really thought was funny. There's this one that's like kind of depressed and like almost like, yeah, we should do that. Like, all of these different characters and their interactions I found really fucking funny, don't get me wrong. But it was like at some points I was just like, okay, these like girls dancing and stuff like that, or like they're talking about boys and then that kind of stuff happens, and I get that it's all a part of the fucking joke, don't get me wrong. I know it is, but I was cringing at some of these moments and wasn't really laughing at the jokes. Don't get me wrong, it doesn't bog down the movie a lot. Also, it's just my opinion. As a dude watching this kid's film, I'm like, okay, it's a problem that I have, but it's not a huge one that's setting me back from enjoying this. I still really enjoyed this movie. Getting to the whole emotional core of the movie, so Maya and her mom, that's kind of the main emotional core, and it's almost, saying this turning red thing is supposed to be like puberty and stuff like that, because when she hits a certain age, her personality also starts to shift with this, and, the mother doesn't think it's the best thing, because there's this whole thing where they can cure this problem like their family has done in the past, which Mai realizes that she might not want to do because she likes the new version of her, and I will say that is handled very well. The mother and daughter relationship in this is handled very well, because it's like most when teenagers and stuff, when they grow up, it's like they want to make their own decisions and do what they want to do, but at the same time, they don't want to completely exile themselves from their parents. And especially with the way that Mai's mom reacts with her mom, Mai's grandma, it especially makes sense with her backstory to why the character of Mai's mom, I forgot her name, unfortunately, is doing the decisions she's making. You understand that. She doesn't want to lose her daughter like what happened between her and her own mom, and I feel like that is handled insanely well, and especially the direction that the movie heads with that, I was like, okay, yeah, this makes a lot of sense and stuff like that, and it gets really funny near the end, because not to spoil anything, but something happens, and then more characters are changed in different ways, which is a really funny thing, but then they differentiate it through the designs, which I really do like. And it was enjoyable, don't get me wrong, but then there's still like the cringy pop song music stuff, which is fine. It didn't bother me. And also another thing I like about this is that this film takes place in 2002, but for the most part it remains very timeless. Like, I really enjoy that. Instead of like bringing it all up, I feel like for the most part it remains timeless, and I feel like if they would have made it take set in modern day, I feel like this whole plot with the red panda and her, like Mai exploiting it and stuff like that, I feel like I could not handle that if they took like a social media edge to it. I feel like that would have been too fucking annoying. And I really like the choice they made, and they don't shove it down your throat. It's very like not noticeable that this movie takes place then. And the whole climax with the resolution of between the mother and daughter relationship is the same thing that a bit of a problem that I have with Encanto, is that I feel like, yeah, it is resolved and it makes sense why these problems are resolved, but then, like, even Mai asks her ancestor, like, did I make the right choice and stuff like that? And it still implies that there's still gonna be problems. Of course there's gonna be problems, but these characters still love each other and they work through it. One trope that this movie almost uses is like the breakup between the friends, and don't get me wrong, it is warranted why that happens, and it's not stuck for most of it, but the main character makes a decision that I don't necessarily agree with, but then it's kind of overwritten really fast and you get over it, and you almost realize why she does that to her friends and stuff like that. Even though I have a bit of a problem with that scene, I was like, okay, maybe it'll resolve it in a good way, and it did. It wasn't an annoying way or at all. I did enjoy this. It was a very good emotional core at the center, and there was a lot of jokes that genuinely made me laugh, even though some of them are making me a bit cringy, but I feel like that's kind of the point. But I've never really enjoyed that humor that much. But I definitely do recommend this. This is a very good Pixar movie. I still don't think it's my favorite. It's not even in my top 5. But, of course, the animation is phenomenal, and even I think the general core of the movie still really holds up between the mother and her daughter. And even though I understand that a lot of the good amount of the comedy didn't work for me, I feel like it worked enough to where I understood that. I really did enjoy the take they did on this, and they made it a bit of more of a mature movie, which I like that direction that Pixar is going, especially with Soul. I haven't seen Luca yet, which I probably Should fucking watch that. But yeah, but I like the mature edge that Pixar is going. I just hope they can still do stuff in theaters and get to see all this amazing fucking animation in that. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Please like and subscribe down below. Comment your opinions on the film. I always love to see those. And yeah, I will see you all next time.